In this presentation, we're going to cover two verbs. The first verb is estar, and the second one is ir. Beginning with estar, we know that the verb estar is conjugated is not conjugated. However, it's in the infinitive form because it ends in ar. In English, estar means to be. We know another verb that also means to be, that is the verb ser, and we will ultimately discuss later in the year the differences between ser and estar, since they both mean to be, but for right now we're just going to focus on the conjugations and some ways that we use the verb estar. In order to conjugate the verb estar, we're going to use an irregular pattern. Estoy, tú estás, él, ella, usted está, nosotros estamos, vosotros estáis, ellos, ellas, or ustedes están. A couple of things to notice right off the bat, that although it is an irregular pattern, it has the same qualities as other AR verbs. If you notice, in 5 out of the 6 forms, the forms are the same. As, a, amos, ais, and an. A difference is, of course, in the yo form, we add a y to the end to make it estoy. You're also going to notice that the bottom 4 forms have accents while the top 2 do not. Those accents are very, very important. The general rule of thumb, without getting too far into ser versus estar, is that how you feel and where you are is when you use the verb estar. And we already know how to use this verb in a couple different ways. For example, how are you, where are you, and I am very well, we conjugate the verb estar. If you remember, ¿cómo estás?, ¿dónde estás?, and estoy bien, or estoy muy bien. All conjugations of the verbs estar. We use estar with emotions, how you feel, and we already know a bunch of emotions. For example, bien as well, nervous, sad, depressed, calm, happy, busy, excited, bad, or terrible. Because we can use estar with these feelings, we can communicate exactly how we are feeling in the moment. If the first half is to tell how you feel and the second half of the rule is to describe where you are, we can also use the location words in our vocabulary to describe where things are. For example, a la derecha, to the right of, encima de, on top of, debajo de is below, detrás de is behind, entre is between, dentro de, inside, delante de, in front of, a la izquierda is to the left of. So if we want to say where something is in relation to something else, for example, the desk is to the right of the table, that is describing its location, we'd use the verb estar. When you have the word de next to the word el, you must make a new word. We'll see that in an example in just a second here, but the reason behind it is, if you say de and el quickly together, you can see how it kind of morphs into one word naturally. De el, del. It rolls off the tongue a bit easier and helps the speech maintain its fluency. Here are some examples. The markers are to the left of the book. We're describing the location of the markers. Los marcadores están a la izquierda del libro. We have the conjugation of the verb estar. It agrees with los marcadores, and that's why it's están. We have a location word, and then because we have the word de and el, we morph it together to become del libro. The teacher is under the desk. El profesor está debajo del escritorio. The location of the teacher is underneath of the desk. The pencils are on top of the folder. Los lápices están encima de la carpeta. Notice how, after the word de, the word la appears. We do not need to combine those words at all. Like we do with de and el, it just stays as it normally would. Continuing on to the verb ir. It is a very important verb in Spanish, and we know that it is an infinitive because it ends in ir. Though it is only 2 letters long, it is still ending in ir, so we know it's not conjugated. The verb ir means to go in English. It is irregular, kind of like estar. Yo voy, tú vas, él, ella, usted va, nosotros vamos, vosotros vais, ellos, ellas, ustedes van. It has the same trend as estar in the yo form, where it ends with a y. You can also see that there are no accents anywhere, not on the bottom four forms, not even on vosotros. And though it's an IR verb, it tends to follow AR patterns, as, a, amos, ais, and ad. If we were going to conjugate ir according to these subjects, we would say yo voy, nosotros vamos a la clase, tú y tus amigos van a la escuela, you and your friends go to the school. Usted va a la oficina de la directora, you are going to the principal's office. Tú vas a casa, you are going home. Maria y yo vamos al pasillo, Maria and I are going to the hallway. Vosotros vais a la cafeteria, you are all going to the cafeteria. And ellos van al parque, they are going to the park. Oftentimes, ir is used to talk about when going to places, obviously, as we saw in those examples. I go to the office, we go to the hallway. He goes to the school, you go to the cafeteria. The word to in this situation is what in Spanish? What we saw earlier in those examples, as in yo voy al gimnasio y Maria y yo vamos al pasillo, that the word a, or just the letter a, means to in Spanish. In those examples, however, we can see that two words join together to become al. Those two words are a and el, as in to the. Another example that we've covered of this is obviously de and el becoming del. So as you can see, there's parallels between a and el becoming al, and de and el becoming del. I go to the school. We go to the principal's office. You go to the hallway. They go to the bathroom. You formal go to the door. You all go to the teacher's desk. You can see the word to in there. For the first one, yo voy a la escuela. Nosotros vamos a la oficina de la directora. Tú vas al pasillo. Ellos van al baño. Usted va a la puerta. Ustedes van al escritorio.